Assumption. Noun. A thing that is accepted as true or as certain to happen without proof. Our awareness is profoundly conditioned or filtered by our assumptions, by our core beliefs about the nature of reality. Our assumptions and their vibratory rate or frequency have a huge effect on the state of our consciousness, creating a filter through which all of our perceptions and experiences are channeled. Anything excluded by the filter is removed from our perception, or it is distorted beyond recognition, with profound implications for the human experience. Assumptions. Our book is called The Trust Frequency, 10 Assumptions for a New Paradigm. And what it does, what the book does, is to investigate the power of our assumptions and also the nature of those assumptions, most of which, in fact, came to us in our pre-conscious days when we were little children and went underground, became unconscious, and gained enormous power over us. So this meditation is on the subject of assumptions, and specifically those assumptions which may be sabotaging us or controlling our actions. Or it's amazing. Assumptions simply have a profound effect upon our daily lives. And by examining those assumptions, having a look at them, deciding whether or not we actually took them on ourselves intentionally or consciously, or whether they were imposed on us by our culture, by our parents, by our caregivers, by our school teachers, and by television, and by our ministers at church, and on and on and on. We acquire these culturally generated assumptions, and they exercise enormous power over us. So in this meditation, we're going to go inside. We're simply going to go and close our eyes, sit with our spines erect, go into the silence, and simply listen. And with our eyes closed, watch. And what are we listening for? What are we watching for? We're listening and watching for signs. They say, "Give me a sign, Lord." Well, one of those signs might be an assumption that comes into your consciousness and makes you realize, oh my goodness, I have been running my life on false assumptions, on erroneous assumptions, on outdated assumptions. So close your eyes. Let's go inside. Let's enter the silence and see what the universe has in store for us with regard to our personal assumptions. Here we go. Don't try, don't think, don't try to compel yourself to uproot or unearth some dreadful assumption. It's not like that. It's in the state of trust. If we need to become aware of a certain assumption or attitude or any of the other aspects of our consciousness, that will become clear to us during these meditations. Or if you choose to continue with these meditations once you've completed the course, then it just goes on and on. It's very deep. It is not only deep in our personal lives, it is generations deep in our families and in our cultures. So trust the process. Just breathe into it, relax. Allow yourself to be in a state where perhaps new assumptions will arrive and replace or supplant the old assumptions, many of which are negative. Many of those old assumptions are in fact fear-based, and they don't serve us. So our work has to do with changing fear-based beliefs and assumptions and replacing them with trust-based. A trust-based worldview, it's an entire construct or system that simply allows one to sort of drop those old assumptions like an old coat you were wearing and you just decided to get rid of it one day and you let it go. And you walk out fresh and new with a brand new set of assumptions, which are a vibratory quantum leap higher than those old ones that have been holding you back. See whether in this beautiful, vast silence, see whether there is perhaps a message for you. And it doesn't matter if there doesn't seem to be one. These messages often come at the most surprising times. Sometimes they don't come at all in an obvious form, but this inner change just happens because once we're aware that there's even the possibility that we have erroneous assumptions that are controlling our behavior and our thoughts and our feelings and our relationships. Just that knowledge changes everything, in fact, because those assumptions, even though we can't identify them specifically, we now know they exist. And by simply inviting them into the light, inviting them to emerge, to come up and allow us to look at them, there's a very good chance that an entire collection of useless, outdated, old assumptions will simply go away. They'll simply evaporate, leaving space for a brand new set of assumptions, a brand new worldview. That is an extraordinary thing. It's like being reborn. Literally, if you have lived your life believing, just to take one example, if you have lived your life believing that you are simply not good enough, perhaps because your dad or your mom or a caregiver or a school teacher berated you when you were a child, and you don't even remember the occasion, but you have those feelings deep in your being. And once they come to consciousness, they will simply evaporate and be replaced with trust-based beliefs, trust-based knowings about yourself, about the reality of the universe we live in, about the extraordinary nature of this conscious, loving universe, of which we are an inextricable part. And when you are ready, come back into your body, wherever this journey has taken you. Then open your eyes and look around at the life you have created, the room you're sitting in perhaps. You might be sitting by a lake, you might be in your office. Doesn't matter. Just look with new eyes and realize that with updated, upgraded assumptions, everything changes. So that is our meditation for today. I would like to thank you for joining me in this journey and to say thank you.